Hello and welcome to the Spark Accounting Solutions Facebook Live. We're being silly over here because why? Because it is the end of tax season and accountants everywhere are finally getting to pay attention to everything else in their life besides filing tax returns. And so I'm going to bring on the president and owner of Spark Accounting Solutions. She is a CPA, CFM, Profit First Professional, QuickBooks Pro Advisor, so many things. And she's here to share what surviving tax season was like. Welcome to the show, Julie Babcock-Hyde.
Hello. I would say happy whatever day today is, but after the last 4 weeks, I'm not even sure what day it is. So happy, well, it should be the day after tax season, but it is the last day of tax season due to IRS problems. So there are still people that are working really hard today.
Really?
Yes, there are still people that are working to crank out tax returns today. We got everybody wrapped up yesterday, extensions filed. So today we are in recovery mode.
Well, why is today the end of tax season versus yesterday or the day before?
Well, so everybody knows April 15th is the normal last day of tax season.
Right.
So April 15th fell on the weekend, which then pushes it to April 16th, which was Monday.
Right.
However, Monday, April 16th, is Emancipation Day for the District of Columbia, which pushes it out one more day. So the 17th should have been the last day. But now the IRS was down half the day. Direct pay was down and e-file was down literally half the day. So there were a lot of people panicked yesterday. So the IRS came out late yesterday afternoon and said, okay, we're going to give you till midnight of the 18th. So in case you haven't filed an extension or made your payment yet, you still can.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It is. Some people were really excited about the extra day. Some people are like, no, I'm done. Let's move on. So I think there was a lot of stress for some people yesterday that were trying to get payments in through IRS direct pay and weren't able to,
right,
and didn't want to use some of the other options. So I'm glad that they got the extra day. But I'm also glad that we are wrapped up and moving on now.
You're wrapped up, but yet here you are on a live show.
Exactly.
You're so dedicated. So we're going to talk about something kind of fun, a little bit different. Typically on this show, you offer all kinds of great tips with regard to small business and finances and all those things that, CPAs tend to think about. But you've got a little something else on your mind, and it's no less important for entrepreneurs to know, and that is we're going to talk about the 5 reasons entrepreneurs should vacation.
Absolutely, because that's all I'm thinking about right now is taking a vacation. So I wanted to share a little bit about why that's so important. I think as small business owners, we are so busy and we feel like we can't take the time to take time off. And I really wanted to talk about why that is so important.
Awesome. I'm glad you're doing that because I'm so guilty of that. In fact, last year when we were heading into Thanksgiving, I was so frustrated that I had to slow down. I was so frustrated that the world kind of stops for the weekend, or at least our country. And I was just like, oh, this is driving me crazy. So you've got some reasons for us on why we really should slow down.
Absolutely. So let's go to number 1.
Let's do it.
Okay, number 1 is we really need to take some time to offset the physical effects of stress on our bodies. Let's be honest, being an entrepreneur is stressful. There's a whole lot of roller coaster rides. There's a new sale that you think you've got, and then you lose the sale, and then you get a bigger sale, and then something else goes wrong, and you have to spend $20,000 to fix it. It's an ongoing roller coaster. And when you start to look at, the effects on heart rate, the effects on blood pressure, the effects on cortisol levels, all of those things build up in us and make us less healthy. And so going on vacation actually helps reduce the physical effects of stress. So the American Psychological Association did a study on this, and they said that just getting away from your normal environment helps reduce your stress levels. So again, stepping away from the office, taking a break from your normal stressful situation automatically reduces that level of stress for you. There was another study. Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's so interesting because one would think, one being me, that getting out of your routine would actually increase stress. But you're saying the AMA study says, no, that's not entirely true.
Yeah, just the physical reaction we have to being in our normal stressful environment helps go away because we are trained somewhat in our emotional responses. And so if we can get away and into a different location, that is helpful. That is very helpful. There was another study done that showed that people who went on vacation actually showed a lower volume of just all those stress-related complaints that we have, like headaches, backaches, etc. Just, again, from taking a vacation. When they came back from vacation, their numbers were better. And who doesn't want less stress headaches? I certainly do.
Well, unless you do vacation like I do, and I go completely off all of my self-care and eat a bunch of junk food and drink alcohol that I don't normally do. That's a whole different show, though, I think.
No, I think it is, but that's a key point that I want to talk about when we're talking about vacations is we want to make sure that our vacations are actually reducing our stress.
Okay.
One of the key things that people stress about sometimes with vacations is the financial costs or like extended travel, changing time zones. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen when you're on vacation that introduce new stress to you. Mm-hmm. And so you want to be careful as you're planning this. If your goal is, I want to reduce my stress, I want to relieve some of these physical effects of stress on my body, it's important to actually plan a relaxing vacation for yourself. Oh, so if you're going on vacation with your spouse and you guys always get into a battle if you go on a road trip, that's probably not the trip you want to pick. You want to pick something different so you actually get that stress reduction.
Perfect. I love it. I want to give a quick shout out to Colleen Delarosa. She says, good morning, ladies, and good morning back to you, Colleen. Thanks for joining us. And I see we have other viewers, and go ahead and leave a comment, or if you have a question, just put that in the comments and we will give you a shout out. And even if you're watching the replay, leave comments or questions, and then Julie will come back in and make sure that she addresses that. Okay, so Julie, are you ready to move on to number 2?
Let's move on to number 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, number 2 is you need to take some time to rebuild those relationships with your family and friends. For many of us that are entrepreneurs, our business is like a baby to us, right? And we oftentimes spend as much time on that baby and sometimes more times on that baby than we do with our friends and family. And so actually taking a vacation is really important to actually get away and rebuild those relationships with your family. I know I am probably as guilty as anybody of, I would say there are times when at least 50 to 75% of the conversations I have with my husband are around business. And he gets tired of it. That's a big deal to me, but that's not necessarily always the most important thing in his world.
Right.
And so